Hey, it says we're live. It says we're live. Chat, can you hear us? Are we, normal? This is the first time I'm using StreamYards.
Yes, we are live. We are live on YouTube.
We are live.
Excellent.
Yeah,
this is beautiful. Okay.
So a good rule of thumb: have a separate window and then mute that window, and that way you can track your live.
Oh yeah, cool. that got me back there a little bit. Holy shit. Okay, excellent. Whew. Okay, now let me first off, chat. This is the first time I'm using StreamYards. This is totally new to me.
It's just one StreamYard, by the way.
Yeah, one StreamYard. Not multiple.
You want me to do your intro?
No.
I'll do it.
No, the show we're in the pre-show right now, which is only going to last until I got these notes out here.
Well, send us the notes.
You don't need them. You're good. I feel like you're good. I feel like you don't need them in the slightest. I'm the one that needs them because I'm dumb and stuff. All right. Now I'm going to start the intro. Let's do this. Ready?
Ready.
Okay, good. Oh, wait, no longer greatness has arrived. Welcome to episode 380 of The Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast made by the players for the players. I'm your host, Joseph, a.k.a. Mr. Badbit, and it's usually here where me and my best friend Kyle talk about the latest, the greatest in all things PlayStation. Of course, this week, we are giving you the rundown on May's State of Play. Will PlayStation Studio games make their appearance at the Summer Game Fest as we set our expectations for SGF? May have to offer. There are leaks ruining gaming coverage and so much more as we do it live each and every Wednesday night over at youtube.com/PS Trophy Room at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and audio services the next day. Y'all, have you noticed that I just got back on vacation? Because that was rough. Alongside me, not the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, but my big brother and yours, Mr. Ainsley Bowden of Season Gaming. How are you, sir?
I am good, but that's Luke's name for me. So you're supposed to come up with your own name. I don't know if that flies coming from you.
The balded one.
No, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's been a while since I've been on the trophy room hanging around the PS side of the house. So good to be here. Luke and I are pumped. Obviously, we both leave tomorrow, which we'll be talking about for Summer Game Fest. So yeah, man, it's a good time to be talking about games. And I got this custom trophy room 3D printed on my shelf just for you. So
yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. Yeah. Huge, by the way. Is that bigger than the Xbox?
Thank you.
Are you compensating for something, Ames? I don't know. Also, with us today, I have nothing bad to say about this man. Okay? Nothing.
Well, he's a little pale, if we're being honest.
Not even. He's a perfect pigment, some would say. I mean, his bloodline, he would say. It's my good friend, Lohr, the Insipid Ghost, host of the Xbox Expansion Pass. How are you, sir?
I am great. I am excited for this week. I'm excited for the showcases. I'm excited to see people. I think a lot of us are going to be just really happy to enjoy so many announcements, right? PlayStation got us started. It's going to be a good time.
Yep. Boys, I just want to thank you both for joining me. Of course, Kyle's not here. He's on his journey to SGF as of right now. So he's on his plane. He's headed there. He's super excited. This was super last minute for him, but I'm excited. I'm living vicariously through him. He's living the dream. And I just want to thank him for hosting the show last week, which he was exceptional on. I want to thank Miss Light for coming in and filling in my shoes, which she did excellent. I want to thank Kyle again also for streaming last week's State of Play, which we broke some records on. So thank you, Kyle Stevenson, the greatest co-host, whoever is, whoever will be, was also the greatest host, whoever was, ever will be. So thank you, Kyle.
Sounds like he died. Be careful.
He lived. He had a great run. No one could argue. His name etched on statues.
The annals of history.
The annals.
You can't see it, but it's actually on the bottom of the trophy, Kyle.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Live, laugh, love. That was
his motto.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, y'all are going to Summer Game Fest too, right?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man.
Together?
Hell yeah. Hand in hand. Yes.
Hand in hand. Are you guys
Mhm.
renting a room together?
No,
Absolutely.
No. Oh, we're telling people.
Yeah.
I'm just excited for us to Ains. And I will get a piggyback ride from Ains. Okay, that is going to happen. Very much like Scrubs back in the day. I'm going to go Eagle, and then he's going to take me around.
All right.
Be fun.
All right. I'll prepare the knees. They're not what they used to be.
Whoa!
That's great that Kyle's going to be there, though. I haven't even met Luke, and I haven't met either of you in real life. So this will be the first time Luke and I are meeting in person, which is awesome.
Well, Ains, do you want some tips? Like
For Luke or
what
for
to
Kyle?
expect
Or
from
both?
Luke? Or both,
Sure.
but mostly Luke. Have you ever seen the movie Casper? Literally just that.
Do you get real cold when he goes through you?
100%. I get chills, dude. I get chills. But firm hands. Listen, I'm so excited to have you boys both here because usually we host cast co-op where three co-hosts come together. They cast. We talk about things in the industry and all that jazz whenever we feel like it. And now it's kind of like a cast co-op X trophy room, show. And I'm just so lucky to have you guys here and call you friends. Because you know what, guys? I went to Italy and it changed my life. I'm here to be more positive. I'm here to have a brand new spin on things. I saw Sean McKenzie said, "Let's hear about the Italy gooning stories already."
Oh boy.
Let me tell you something. We gooned, but we didn't goon too hard. I want to shout out to the city of Venice, made popular by the video game Assassin's Creed 2 and Spider-Man: Far From Home.
The city of Venice, known famously across the world for Assassin's Creed.
Absolutely, that's how I know it. Because last week or the weeks before, I was just like, I'm gonna go on the gondola, I'm gonna go swim along. Let me tell you something, guys. 5 minutes into me going to Venice, my best friend Amy, she's like, let me take a picture for Brian. It's her boyfriend, right? So, and like, let me stand up on this pier. Let me do a little pose. I was like, okay, fine, for the gram. I take the picture of her. Immediately, she gets shat on by a big giant seagull. And I'm thinking it just gets on her purse. And as she's walking over to the group going, guys, I think I just got a little duty on me. My eyes turn to go, look down. It's her shirt, it's her pants, it's everything. And I was just like, you know what? I'm good on the gondola. I don't need to do this whatsoever. But the trip was phenomenal. The wedding, phenomenal. And Venice is
Are they still together?
What?
The kids who got married?
I give them about a couple of weeks.
That's fair. Right.
It seemed a little rocky.
Yeah.
But like where the trailer of Assassin's Creed 2 is, that looked really dope. The little center, that was dope. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And that was all my Italy stories. That's for you guys in the chat. That said, I do want to have a little bit of housekeeping before we jump on in. Of course, we got the Trophy Room store. There's new merch at BB. Go check out some shirts. Go check out some hats. Support the show and look good doing it. And By the Players. All right, this comes from Drellish himself. He writes, calling all indie game fans this July on By the Players is Indie Month. Head over to By the Players channel on the Trophy Room Discord and cast your vote for the game we'll be discussing next month. Here are your choices. Dredge, Tales of Kanzara Zao, Dave the Diver, Animal Well, and Balatro. Oh, those are 5 amazing games. Voting closes this Sunday, June 9th. Don't forget, we're still tackling God of War Ragnarok, 2022 Game of the Year. I don't know about that one, Josh. On June 23rd at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Missed the May sign-up date? No worries. Reach out to Marcus O'Neill and Drellish to join the standby list for June's discussion. By the Players is your monthly Trophy Room community hangout for all things gaming. Join the fun. See you there. And if you miss out, guess what? Patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. You get to listen to the community give their thoughts on each game month in, month out. This month's Final Fantasy Rebirth one should be out later this week. And it's a really good discussion that I'm there for half of it because my internet dies. Nonetheless, go check it out. And last but not leastly, it's our Patreon pitch. Of course, before we get into the news, I want to thank our producers that make this show happen. It's the reason why we look so good, sound so great, is because of your generosity over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. I want to thank our newest members, Graham at the bronze tier. I hope I pronounced your name right. I'm jet lagged. Give me some credit, you know what I mean? Or just message me if I got it wrong. You know what to do. Mike Thomas at the platinum tier. Our premium tier members, Todd Burwitz and Toxic. Our platinum members, Jay Shea, Jedi Master Ren, Cowboy Danger D, Jonas Young, The Green Gorilla Gamer, Chaotic Monkey, Ryuko Kill 90, Stephen Flesh, Strubles and Bits, Bertos Maximus, Chris, Hybrid 748, Matt Valdez, Silcanet, Decimine, Jadis Von Metal, Mitchell Gramling, and Randy Hale. I want to thank our gold members, Cypher Primus, Doth, Simon the Pie Man, Jesse Garcia, JB the Purple Monkey, Hayden Doyce, Katie, Kevin Mitchell, Kevin Diaz, Marcus O'Neill, Red Arrow, Aegis Hermit, Angelsaur, Astronaut Jr., Winter Gamer, Robbie Bobby Miller, Brenton Zachary, Final Fan XZ, Hambone, JD Dillinger, Stone Cold E.T., Tino Sixspeed, and Johnson, Sean McKenzie, Rick Arrington, Matthew King, the Overlord, Dewane Raksha, Drellish, Rick Davis, Steph Midler, Samuel Nestling, Maximum Carnage, Solo, and Lord Commander Suddy, who's in the hospital still, but he heals up well. Suddy, we love you. Keep fighting the good fight, brother.
Talk to him today. He's doing better. No more diabetes.
Oh, hell yes.
Because that organ's working, so you no longer has to worry about that.
There you go. Yeah. Shout out to our friend Suddy. He was in the hospital. He got a kidney transplant, and he's kicking
pancreas.
ass and doing well.
Kidney and pancreas.
And pancreas. Oh, my God. Double.
Man.
Yeah, he was in the hospital for a long bit. Is he out of the hospital yet?
I didn't realize it was that serious.
No, he's not home yet. They got to make sure all the organs are working right. Just
fair enough.
Making sure everything's like lining up. But yeah, I'll spare you the details. He's doing well. He put pictures in our group chat that I thought were gross.
They were, but they were also kind of rad. You know, I'm not gonna argue.
It's just
all right.
Okay.
It's time to finally.
You got a super chat
up the news, but before we do a little super chat, look at that. X Bacon Gaming writes, 2 of my favorite creators, and I guess Joe, on the trophy room. Have a great show, fellas.
Well done, Bacon. Good to see Bacon.
Awesome.
You know what?
Bacon's
I like
awesome.
Bacon. And also, we have such like great little debates in our little DM, and I appreciate him for that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, I don't know if you know about this, but there was a state of play last week, and the internet had a lot of opinions on it. Before we get into our thoughts on the state of play, of course, I want to read you the list of games that were shown. So, first and foremost, we got Concord beta in July for purchase, rumored at this very point in time for $40. Oof, should be free. With 4 invite codes if you pre-order. And the game launches on August 23rd, 2024. God of War Ragnarok PC launches September 16th. Dynasty Warriors Origins, Infinite Nikki, Ballad of Antra, Skydance's Behemoth on PSVR 2 in the fall of 2024, Alien Rogue Incursion on PSVR 2 coming to fall 2024, Marvel's Rivals beta announced in July, Where Winds Meet Until Dawn on PS5 and PC launching simultaneously in fall 2024. Silent Hill 2 remake on the 6th of October. Path of the Exile 2. Early access later this year. Monster Hunter Wilds comes out 2025. And then last but not leastly, Astro Bot on September 6th. Ains, I'm going to throw this over to you. What was, because everybody's talking about, this state of play was disappointing. I want to know what was your highlight of the show.
Astro Bot,
right?
By literal miles. Yeah.
Now, what were your thoughts on like? I mean, when did you get into Astro Bot? Was it the PS5 game, PSVR game?
PSVR 1.
Yeah.
Love that game. Obviously, the game that came with the PS5 is incredible too. Is a kind of tech demo, right, for the DualSense mainly. But you know me, I'm always preaching 3D platformers. I talk about Banjo all the time. And this just looks like what you would expect out of a 3D platformer in 2024. It looks freaking incredible. It looks imaginative. It looks fun. It looks to build upon all the PlayStation IP strength, which they love to flex on in the Astro Bot games, which adds to the fun for me, because there's a lot of history there. So I'm pumped. Not only that they closed the show, and maybe that says more about the show itself than Astro Bot, but they closed the show with a 3D platformer, and obviously, at least anecdotally, post-show, everyone's raving about Astro Bot. Yeah. It was easily what I could see as the most positive game. Maybe not the most talked about. We'll talk about Concord, but the most positive game of the show. So I'm pumped about Astro Bots right after my birthday. It's perfect. I'm so excited.
And Luke, as I turn this over to you, we got a question from Ghetto Berry that I'd like you to answer for me. Hey, guys. Hope you are doing okay. Going into last week's State of Play with very low expectations, I still came away very disappointed. None of the games shown appealed to me on a personal scale apart from Astro Bot. Give it to me now. Do you think Sony would have been better off having a State of Play at all if they're saving their big guns for SGF, or maybe have their State of Play afterwards as a mean of dusting off games soon to be released? And I throw this over to you, Luke, because we had a conversation a while back of like, I'm really hoping May is a showcase and not a State of Play. And you replied, well, why? Because they don't need to show anything big right now because the PlayStation 5 selling well, their games are doing well. So why do they have to when they have such a lead right now where they can focus on games that are coming out this year and maybe have another showcase down the line that focuses on the big games? But you felt like there was no rush then. Do you feel what Ghetto Berry's feeling though now? It's like maybe they should have given me a Ghost of Tsushima 2 or something.
No, it's a fair question. I think in the context of the moment, I do not think they should have done the State of Play in this context right now. But we don't know what they're holding in reserve for Summer Game Fest because they are a partner with Summer Game Fest. They are listed there. We might see Spider-Man 2 DLC or something else coming down the pipeline. A week out from Summer Game Fest and the Xbox Showcase where they're linked up with COD and Doom's going to be there in theory, and rumors of Gears or whatever else. Like the hype of Summer Game Fest and Xbox and even Ubisoft Forward doesn't match what we got out of the State of Play. And so I think that's the lens that a lot of people are looking at it from. So we'll know whether or not this showcase should have happened by just how much PlayStation shows up come Summer Game Fest.
Right.
If I'm being honest, I thought it was fine. It was good in like in a vacuum next to these bigger showcases, less so. I really liked Astro Bot myself. I know Concord is going to be kind of up for debate. And I definitely have thoughts on it, but PlayStation, the idea of should they have had it, the idea of did they need it? PlayStations are selling in what is arguably the worst year PlayStation's had in a long time.
In terms of content?
In terms of content, yeah. In terms of first-party delivery, I should definitely qualify that. But Helldivers was great. People seem to love Stellar Blade. Controversies aside, it did well. And so PlayStation's not in a bad spot. The showcase just didn't do so much for so many people. I thought Astro Bot looked great. I thought Ratchet & Clank looked great back when PlayStation 5 launched. Those things don't sell gangbusters, or at least they don't get talked about in our space as much, but I still love them and they're happy and they're fun games.
Yeah. So. Like for me, I like Astro Bot stole the show, and I am, maybe I'm just code begging you guys, but like I didn't mind the State of Play one bit. Maybe I'm just trying to get into Shu's good graces by saying like I genuinely liked the State of Play. They should and I should also preface with the asterisks, it's a different feeling to me because we get to sit here with dozens of fans and of the show, and we get to react alongside each other and have, conversations and just share the excitement of video games together. So like, it's really hard for me to hate a showcase when I'm just vibing with, like Green Gorilla, with Bruce, Jordy, like the nerd chat's here to troll me, Nisa. Like, it's hard for me to get upset when I have friends to watch something with.
Yes. Yeah.
On that same token, I saw games that I'm going to be playing day one. And my old adage is like, if there's more than 3 games that I'm playing, it was a good show. And, I have underlined here on my notes, like Concord, Alien Rogue Incursion, which let's talk about that Alien movie for a second.
Yeah, I'm in.
Jesus Christ. Marvel Rivals, Where the Winds Meet looks awesome. Path of the Exile 2, Monster Hunter Wilds, and Astro Bot. Like, 7 games that I'm going to be either trying or picking up day one. And so like, for me, it's like, then that means it was a good show. I don't come into the conversation, though I can understand where people are, where it's like, but where's my ghost? Where's Neil's game? Where's Corey's game? And I think the expectations of this state of play were set when they gave you a day to get ready to move your plans around for this state of play. Usually a showcase, PlayStation gives you a week. They want all eyes on this. This one definitely felt like this was a quarterly, hey, this is, our partners' games type of showcase. And, it falls somewhere in the middle for me in terms of state of plays. I thought last state of play was awesome with Fizznet and Death Stranding and Final Fantasy Rebirth. But like, to me, it was still a decent showing. But yeah, go for it, Ants.
I'm sorry, Joe. You sure you want to finish your
point? Yeah, go for it.
I was just going to say, we've talked a lot about this, the 3 of us, right? And I think that generally speaking, at least in the community we live in here in the social space and gaming, I think that expectations are just too high for these shows.
Yeah.
This show didn't do much for me, but at the same time, I don't have a negative thought to share about it. It's like Astro Bot, a Path of Exile 2, I'm all over just because that's my realm. And I've supported Grinding Gear games since they started like 12 years ago now. And Alien for PSVR 2, there's a few things in there that excited me, and that's good enough to your point, Joe. Like I think the expectation of, finally PlayStation has a show, it has to blow me away, is just unrealistic with the development time that all of these games, we know the big games, right? The ones that people really want to see, like Ghost 2, it's not that pace that we were used to getting earlier in our lives, right? With the E3 every year and stuff. And I think expectations need to be reset a little bit for what a state of play or a developer direct on the Xbox side are going to be, that type of stuff. Or even like a, Nintendo Direct sometimes are very hit or miss for me.
We are too informed is what you're saying. We're too informed.
And exactly right. And I think that we have to, again, as we 3 of us always say, this little microcosm of the community that we live and breathe in every day, and that'll be at SGF here, that we'll be engaging with it over the next couple of days. In terms of the global gaming market, they are absolutely nothing. Yeah. And so all the people who don't look at this stuff every day realize is that, hey, PlayStation just showed some new games. They look cool, give or take, depending on your opinion. And I'm going to be playing them. And as we know, and we've seen, this isn't going to negatively impact PlayStation. No. From this seat, to Luke's earlier point, it does look like almost maybe a miscalculation to have this, what I would call personally underwhelming show. I mean, it's an okay show, but underwhelming show just before showcase season. That seems like a miscalculation. But will it negatively affect PlayStation? I don't think so. I think Concord's a bigger gamble than the show was.
So let's talk about Concord, because this is a game that definitely, you see from the trailers, has a budget light years ahead of like Helldivers 2, which came out.
It's an expensive game. Yeah.
Blew people away, right? Concord, not so much. That trailer is getting eaten alive on socials, on YouTube. And
please pick the Xbox guy to talk about this first.
Yeah, okay, Xbox guy. Come on, doofus. You go first, Liz.
Doofus.
It was so strange watching Concord kind of be on display as this PlayStation first party, because as an Xbox gamer, when I look over to Team Blue, and for out of context for anyone that doesn't know, I like Team Blue a lot. But every time I look over at Team Blue, I'm seeing third-person action narrative titles, pushing graphic fidelity, great experiences, 9 out of 10s. Like that tends to be the mentality when I look over at PlayStation first party. And this, you could tell had a great budget. You could tell was made with passion and people liked it. But it felt like a knockoff Guardians of the Galaxy hero shooter that you wanted to see in 2017.
Yeah.
And next to Marvel Rivals, which at least has characters that are known and people like.
In the same show.
It was very odd because, again, the quality of Concord looks evident in that particular
vertical slice.
Yeah. But like, who asked for this? Why now? And did they think this was the way to deliver it? Because I have to say, if they're going to show it at Summer Game Fest and then they can put hands on with people, that's how you do it.
Yes.
But I can't imagine a state of play did any favors. And it's kind of evident by the like to dislike ratio and stuff on YouTube. And I hate that for them because you can tell people worked hard. This isn't a Redfall situation.
That's the thing that pisses me off because, like, to me, when I talk about a game, right? Because my little Concord tweet blew up a little bit. And I'm like, listen, I understand Concord has a hill to climb, right? They are definitely pushing a boulder up a hill. Multiplayer games are do and die, and we see so many, come before this game and just fall on its face. And I see the promise here. Like, I love Overwatch. Overwatch is a game that was my game of the year in 2017. I bought it on PlayStation day one, a month later on PC to play with all my friends. And years down the line on Xbox, I've poured hundreds of hours in that game. I love it. I take a look at what this team's pedigree is, and you can tell the Destiny DNA, the Destiny Crucible DNA is all over this game. And so, like, when I saw the guy shooting the revolver, I'm like, that was me in the last word in Rumble. Like, I remember that. And then you have like the Valorant like abilities, closing lanes, seeing that it is very lane based, seeing that the powers at this very point in time isn't about clearing the field, but it's more about like utilizing the field. That all excites me. And I'm like, we don't have enough games like that on PlayStation. The Valorant meets, arena shooters like a Destiny OG Crucible. So it's like, that's cool. I'm in and I'm rooting for this team because they've shown me nothing but like, this has promise. And who am I? Luke, we've talked about this in the past. I remember having the conversation with you like weeks before Helldivers, and we were just like, I don't know if this game, it's like they're just leaving it out to die. And look at how wrong we were. So it's like, it's easy for me to poo-poo this game. But at the same exact time, I think the way that this game has been put out is a mistake by PlayStation. I think the cinematic trailer should have been at last state of play, and then something more in-depth trailer should have been at this show. Yeah, Ian?
Sorry, I keep thinking you're done, and then I
go for
continue. No, I think that's a very good point you put out, Joe, that I hadn't really considered too much, which is on the PlayStation side of the house. And I guess, if you think about it this way, because I play most multiplayer on either PC or Xbox, right? Mm-hmm. And PlayStation, as we know, their kind of competitive multiplayer scene is really third party. First party, that they kind of abandoned that a long time ago. And on Xbox, and when I look at the most played games in general, right, they are all, and I say this a lot, they are all cross-play on every platform games, right? Apex, Fortnite, Siege, Overwatch, Destiny. There's a lot of them, right? And so my first thought is Concord's not going to touch those. It's just not, especially being a paid game now that we seem to have found out that it's not free to play, which, by the way, I think as a player base is the right move because
I agree. Having
a paid product solves a lot of issues you get with free to play games. But the question is that you brought up, I think, acutely is the PlayStation audience going to support this because they're not used to having a dedicated, unique first-party shooter in this space, which Concord looks to be. So I could see it finding an audience if you start to think about it that way. I just don't know how big it's going to be. And they are going to have to be, I think the two most important things here, one is an obvious one, which is gameplay. The gameplay has to be phenomenal because you're competing in a space with games that have been refined over the last decade. And if it's not as fun or as smooth to play as those games, you're going to lose people real fast.
Yeah.
The second is live service, which is the dreaded words people hate talking about, but it's the world we live in. And all of the games in this space have continuous content, additions, skins, events, things to keep you engaged, right? We talk about Fortnite. You guys, engage with that a lot. And Epic is brilliant at what they do with Fortnite. But you have to have something to keep people engaged. And I don't know, based on what we've seen out of PlayStation lately, especially speed to market, if Firewalk is prepared for that. It is Firewalk, right? Am I mixing
Firewalk Studios?
Okay.
It's their first game,
Firewalk
right?
is prepared for that.
Yes. So these are developers that have worked on like Call of Duty, Destiny, the whole rigmarole, Apex Legends.
So they know this, of course, too.
Yeah.
But are they prepared to truly deliver? And we've seen many a game, and I'll throw Halo out as always. We've seen many a game kind of fall flat in that first year, and it can really hurt the game.
I mean, Halo, I think, is the perfect example. Like, it is a similar product in terms of if what we're thinking is right, it's like more arena based. It's like, content is king, and making sure that that content delivery hits those dates is a must. But again, at the end of the day, I don't think we've seen enough of Concord. I'm holding out hope that they prepare the right message, because I think when it came to something like Helldivers, I think it just flew under the radar just enough to squeak by people, the naysayers, and at the end of the day, it was all word of mouth, right? So it's like people going, "Oh my god, this game's actually really good."
For Helldivers, you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yes,
Yeah.
And so like here for Concord, that's where I think this game's going to truly live and die on, and to me, I see Concord being a slow burn if it is truly that success. But
if it ever burns,
if it ever burns,
because it's starting. We've seen this and with other games lately. Suicide Squad being a good example of like you debut and you have this negative connotation attached to you. It is hard to come back from that with the hardcore community.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see.
Yeah, and I think the Guardians comparisons, while apt, a little bit too harsh, but.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm like, I was just like, I get the vibe that they're going for. I do think they like the purple like monkey dude with the red forehead. I get it. Your Drax settled down, but I think the rest of them, like, I like their personalities. I like the world that they've set. And again, I like from what I've seen of the gameplay so far. I think we'll see more at Summer Games Fest. I think that'll be another place where we'll see a couple more announcements from that team. Just hoping for the best. I also want to just say shout out to Astro Bot. A little note from Wario64. 4 times the size of Astro's Playroom, 80 planets spread across 6 galaxies, no microtransactions, over 150 PlayStation cameos, single player experience only.
That's what I said. Use that IP strength. You have it.
Yeah, I'm in. God,
I'm in. That'll be my. I love Sackboy. Sackboy was a brilliant 3D platformer. I recommend that game to everyone on the PlayStation side. I hope Astrobot's just as good or better.
There's no bad thing about the best thing I could say about the Astrobot trailer was that game looked like it was made from a Nintendo studio.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how good this game looked. When I saw Astro flying on the DualSense like it was Star Fox, I lost it.
I also lost it. I love that kind of gameplay. I've been playing First Squadron recently, which is a pale comparison to Star Fox, but I love that kind of gameplay. And so seeing that, it was like, oh, immediate. Yes, I'm getting that.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now, and I told you guys this on cast, but if Banjo gets announced at the Xbox showcase, like all hell is gonna break loose, like because I'm gonna be set.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be the happiest guy in the room. Luke's gonna have to hold me back.
He's gonna be weeping. Yeah, no, Astro looks absolutely phenomenal, and I would be a broken record like what everybody's saying. That is the game that stole the show. That is currently my most anticipated game this year. It just looks like the PlayStation equivalent of Mario Odyssey, and love to see it. All right, that was the PlayStation State of Play roundup. Now let's head on over to a story over on PlayStation Lifestyle from Zarmina Khan, stating the PlayStation State of Play was reportedly leaked by a YouTube employee for cash. A new report claims that a recent PlayStation State of Play leaks were sold by a YouTube employee for a small amount of money. Last week, we shared a report that YouTube had conducted an internal investigation after an increasing amount of video game information was leaked prior to trailers going live. 2 follow-up reports have since emerged, indicating that the problem is far more serious than it looks. A scathing report published by 404 Media yesterday revealed that Google contractor used admin access to leak Nintendo announcements before they happened. Going off that report, Tom Henderson, of Insider Gaming fame, who himself is an insider, revealed that within hours of Sony scheduling last week's State of Play, he was contacted by at least 4 different individuals with a complete list of games that were going to be at the event. Henderson chose not to publish the list, but we did see it shared by 2 known quote-unquote insiders on Twitter. One of the individuals contacted Henderson actually told him that they had sold the State of Play games list for a small 3-figure amount. How much you think? $150? Whole list?
Wild.
Wild.
Like, yeah.
I think selling your career for $300 is a smart move. No,
I mean, let's see. According to Henderson, YouTube and parent company Google are aware of the problem, but haven't been able to adequately address it. Companies don't have an option of uploading trailers at the last minute because YouTube's processing times. Additionally, they need to kick off marketing activities well beforehand. Perhaps the most troubling part of both new reports is that Google and YouTube contractors, not just employees, have access to private information. I throw this over to you boys, whichever want to catch it first.
I'd like Ains to address this one, if you don't mind, because he runs a website that specializes in news, but it's
okay.
I think that'd be an interesting way to approach it.
Yeah, I thought you were going with a joke. That's why I was like, okay. I saw
didn't know where you were going. Honestly, I mean, I just want to call the guy an idiot and move on. I mean, I don't even know what you say to this. Like, okay, let me put it this way. Right. You're going to get caught. Mm-hmm. Like, you're going to get caught. And no matter how slick you think you are, you're talking about Google algorithms and the amount of data that is tracked across those kind of interfaces or networks, whatever word you want to use here. You're going to get caught. And what have you done? You've thrown away a job at Google that'll be permanently on your record now. For any reference you try to get in any other career because you wanted to get some online clout or make $100, $200, $300, whatever it is. Like, what in the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
I don't understand these people, man. I don't get it. And I don't understand. I just don't understand.
I think it's, a poor upbringing.
I mean, like,
loved ones, I think does it.
To Luke's point about running a site, like, we're obviously quite different from other sites that dabble in the whole leak kind of culture. But like, it definitely, if nothing else, it sheds some insight into just how, what's the word I'm looking for here? Maybe rabid the want for leaked info is.
Yeah.
And really, you look at, and not to kind of put them on a spotlight, but you look at a site like Insider Gaming, which is literally named for leaks, who Tom Henderson got known for leaks prior to starting the site because he knew he could start a site based around leaks. That's the culture today in the gaming space. And it's I'll use the word pathetic in my opinion, not Tom and Insider Gaming, but just in general, that's been the drive. And we've talked about this a lot. I hate that that's the focus for so much conversation.
What I hate about it is like, there's so much about a show before it even happens. And it loses that excitement back in the day of like seeing, whatever game that got you really jazzed, it's like, no, like we already know Gear 6 is going to be there. Like we knew that months ago. It's like, that sucks. Oh shit. I'm sorry, Ains and Luke. But it's like, that sucks. I think one of the things that we talk about a lot on the Trophy Room is that those announcements belong to the developers. We've spoken in DMs. Like, there are some things that like one of us may know, but like we're not here to speak about it to gain some clout, because like it's not my announcement. It's not the thing I worked on. I want that team to go and share the excitement of them launching their game. And so to see that stripped from them absolutely sucks. And as a person that covers
I did it again. I'm sorry. I'm going to stop doing that.
You should really start getting better at this podcast, I think.
Hey, Joe,
you're right. You're right.
Just to make sure you're tracking, because I know you said StreamYard was new to you. You have a starred section. You can see your super chats. Okay, cool. Making sure.
Yeah, I'm new at this. I know. I know some stuff. But yeah, so like, it's not my announcement to share. And when I see people like the Rhino guy on Twitter going, here's the whole list, and it's like, dude, could you not? Like, could you maybe put it in another comment so I don't have to like visually just see it? It's not up front in my face. Like, come on, man. That sucks for the people that, again, worked hard on this thing. It's for me, it's like don't hate the player, hate the game, because that's what the game is. If it wasn't Tom Henderson, it'd be someone else doing it. And it's just because that it rewards clicks, it rewards following, and that matters to a lot of people, I guess.
Yeah, I was just typing in the chat to Jeeves to say that like the problem, it compounds, right? Because it gets a lot of clicks, so then more people want to do it. And as you guys know, we've talked about many times. Well, we've talked about all this many times, but the content creator space or influencer space, it's a chase for clout. That's how you build your name. Yep. And it, in my opinion, as I've said many millions of times, it just degrades the entire conversation of what we're trying to do here. And to your point, Joe, we know, because we talk to them, we hear from them, the developers, the studios, the CMs, community managers, all those people, they get really, really upset when they work on something for months and that moment gets taken from them. Yep. And I think, just to pat us three on the back for a second, we do a good job because we recognize that and respect it. And I think the tail for that respect is longer than quick clout, but it has served the three of us well, and I think we'll continue to. But we've built relationships because I think some of those developers and companies and stuff know that they can trust us with embargoes and information 100%. And stuff like that. So
because at the same exact token or time, whatever, it's like we'll talk about the Insomniac leak, but I think we did a much better job reporting on that, giving people an in and an out for that conversation. We got DMs afterwards from folks going like, thank you, you guys really handled that extremely well. Like that's the stuff that matters to me. It's not like how can I get, I don't know, Sly Cooper on a thumbnail. It's like it's a little bit deeper than that for me. I truly think leak culture is damaging
the
game's conversation.
It absolutely is.
Okay, here's a big one, guys.
Luke, you're on mute, dude.
If he's ready to move on, that's okay. Go ahead.
No, go for it, Luke. say your piece. You dumb.
Well, I think the problem with the Jeff Grubbs, the Tom Hendersons, the Special Nicks, people that we know, interact with, and enjoy, is that once they share something that they might have come across insider-wise, everybody rushes that to them for the next thing and the next thing. And then suddenly every bit of content that they might want to do, whether it's leak based or not, people are expectant of, well, tell me about Gear 6. What's happening with Gear 7? We got Gears 8 on the docket. And that creates kind of a systemic toxicity, because then that creator, that person, I'll use Special Nick because I feel like we know him enough and he knows I'm not going after him. If he doesn't have anything to say about Gears 6, 7, and 8, but people keep coming at him for it, that's emotionally taxing. Yeah. And then I think some people fall into a pattern where they feel like they have to say something, and that's their content, and that's who they are. Yeah. And I see that happen with some of the people that engage in that. And I don't want that to be my content. Every time XEP does better than the week before, I'm like, woo. If it does worse, I'm like, God, I'm the worst. Yep. That chase, that cloud, like, oh, I gotta announce the big thing because they want the numbers to go up.
I think the way Jeff Grubb said it once, and I agree. It's like, listen, someone's gonna say this information, but I know I can lead this conversation in a better way, and that's my responsibility, is to be the arbiter of that information, because I don't want some sleazebag to have some kind of console war connotation to it. I just want, like, for example, Jeff Grubb's like, there's going to be a PlayStation event in a May date, and it's like, okay, great. When is it? And Jeff's like, any day now, guys. Let's relax. And it was a day before, and that's the thing. There's a responsibility to leaks. Like, for just a quick second, like, when I get that type of information, I try to be very subtle about it, so that when I put it in the show, you don't even know that I'm putting it in the show. Like when I told you guys, hey, I think it's a state of play, it's probably because I knew it was a state of play. And so, like, trying to set expectations accordingly to me was far more important than going, hey, and that's why I think Neil Druckmann's game is going to be in it. You know what I mean? That type of stuff. Don't want to be reckless with it. You want to be respectful of the content. That said, before we get into the next story, Rob Farley writes in with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Rob. Assuming it is possible, what do you think of Xbox first party supporting DualSense features on PC natively? I've wanted that lately, but it might not be wise from an Xbox marketing standpoint. Ooh, Rob. As a DualSense user, I don't mind.
I assume he means to basically code Xbox first party games, so when you use your DualSense on PC for Xbox games, you can get features, right?
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. I dig it.
I like it. I mean, as a usability standpoint, to your point, I don't think they do it because accessories are a big, one of the biggest revenue streams from a profitability margin standpoint for Xbox. People, I think, underestimate how much accessories make up their annual revenue. It's a big chunk. And so I think, to your point, Rob, if you just go out there and say, hey, this game's better with a DualSense, I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay, let me counter logic you, and you guys tell me if I'm crazy.
Okay,
you're crazy.
First, I start with a question: is the DualSense haptic feedback? That's not proprietary, right? Like they don't own a patent on that.
No.
Okay, so I could see a world where Xbox's team does greenlight coding in for the DualSense in order to future-proof some of their games for when they go to PC, cloud everywhere, that kind of thing, because we see Xbox going multi-platform. So I could see that being an approach that they would take. And I'll also remind people that when xCloud first made its debut on an Inside Xbox, which at the time was akin to a showcase digitally, they literally talked about how the PlayStation DualSense works with xCloud. They said those words. So I don't think it's as far-fetched as no, not at all, given the path that Xbox seems to be going down. Do I think they would put the resources into it? I don't know if that's where you would want to put your resources, but I could see Xbox doing it, and I don't think it's a bad idea.
Fair.
It's a matter of how easy is it.
Also, Jordy writes, Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 just dropped onto Game Pass. Go play Octopath 1 and 2, please.
Shout out to Jordy, by the way. Good to see him.
Good to see Jordy for sure.
I love you.
So that did we not think that was going to be a state of play or Xbox showcase thing? It seems like that's early. Octopath coming too.
Probably a mistake,
Yeah.
So like an intern hit a button at the wrong time. All right, this next segment, boys, it's a new segment I like to call Lowering Expectations. This article comes from Brendan Caldwell over at Rock Paper Shotgun. Don't expect big reveals at the Summer Games Fest, says Geoff Keighley. The 2-hour-plus show hosted by the marketing man Geoff Keighley will be broadcasting on Friday, blasting into your ocular nerves with probably a lot of games. However, most of these games will not be brand new, exciting reveals, said Keighley himself in a fresh Twitch Q&A. Quote, there will definitely be new announcements, he said, but the show will largely be focused on, I think, existing games and have new updates for fans. He's mentioning this ahead of time, he said, to set expectations. During the session, Keighley confirmed that a lot of games wouldn't be on the show. Metal Gear Solid Delta, Snake Eater will not be shown. Kingdom Hearts 4 off the table for you weebs out there.
This is winning so far to me.
I mean, right?
Good. Keep going.
This is great. The Wolf Among Us 2, that's an L. Yeah.
That's a
Neither should be expected, but the upcoming BioShock-like Shooter Judas, nor anything future Five Nights at Freddy games. Quote, The Game Awards has a lot of usually big surprises. We're thankful for those and big new reveals. This summer Game Fest is largely focused on stuff. ... There will definitely be things that are being announced but this show is not. This show has a lot of like coming in 2026, 2027, or teasers for games that are years and years out. That's generally what I would say in terms of expectation setting. Keighley did highlight some games that would appear, however, including Dino Punch and Hunt 'em Up, Monster Hunter Wilds, Medieval RPG Kingdom Come to Deliverance, and Metaphor Rifantasio. Hey, I came up from Italy. Buongiorno. Upcoming fantasy JRPG. I thought I'd get a laugh. Creators of Persona. So that's something. So Can It writes in just like you can too. If you head on over to the Trophy Room Discord, he writes, "We know people are not good at managing expectations. God, do we know it? And some outlets really are not helping. Do you think the media outlets should be more responsible / measured with their article titles? Quote, not speaking in the context of articles themselves. We know people can't read, but i.e. Polygon article today. This is the most important showcase in Xbox history type articles." So I throw this over to, I don't know who wants it, who wants this question, Luke, because on one hand, I understand setting expectations, but I like this one quote, one post from Cam Hawkins, friend of the show, who's like, it's cool that you're setting expectations, but to say like this is a light year in games while you're having devs pay astronomical figures to be at the showcase, it kind of feels like it's a backhand to the developers that paid you that astronomical money.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like he is dancing the dance well in terms of communicating what this show is? Or do you think expectations are out of whack because, you know, clickbait articles and YouTube videos and with shock faces are going to, you know, be the thing that sells?
For sure, clickbait articles and shock faces are what sells and what gets numbers, and that's a thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Dreamcast guy, I think, is the one making the rounds right now as existing, and people, you know, and so that's a factor.
To see Ains die right there,
just like, what are you doing, dude?
Because a bald brother in arms.
It's just a good example of like that clout chasing, desperate for numbers,
Yes.
because that's their day job, right? It truly makes me more sad. Like, I pity them, I guess.
Mhm.
But as far as setting expectations appropriately, there's two questions on the docket: Xbox and Summer Game Fest, and those are two different things. Summer Game Fest, building for future, setting expectations accordingly, a wise choice, particularly because Summer Game Fest has two showcases a year through Keighley, Game Fest and the Game Awards, and the Game Awards is bigger. So Game Fest is always in this weird spot in that Geoff's trying to host two big tentpole shows a year when Xbox is also hosting shows. PlayStation's got announcements. Ubisoft Forward exists. EA Play has sometimes showed up.
Last year, dude, Outlaws.
Yeah.
Avatar. Shoot.
It's very wild to me. So Summer Game Fest is different, I think, than Xbox. Xbox now this is a huge showcase for them because there's no talk of acquisitions, mergers, or umbrellas or anything and the like. Under their umbrella, they do have Bethesda, they do have Activision, they do have Xbox Game Studios. They've got multi-platform titles, they've got live service titles, they've been developing things. We know something like 15 plus games they're working on, either actively or have announced at some point. So Xbox has different types of expectations. Xbox needs to say, here's where some of these games are. Summer Game Fest has to somehow reward those that have invested in the project, like to Cam Hawkins' point. Shout out to Cam. I saw him on Khalif's show recently. And not kind of, I guess you would say, use up all the good announcements ahead of Game Awards.
Sure.
So Summer Game Fest, I anticipate seeing some fun stuff. I'm willing to bet you see Spider-Man DLC. I'm willing to bet you see PlayStation link up and do some of the stuff maybe we could have gotten in a showcase. Maybe Xbox shows Shattered Space at Summer Game Fest to build goodwill. Maybe Xbox holds off on Gears this year until the Game Awards to, again, build, because Game Awards probably has a bigger audience than the Xbox Showcase.
Yeah.
So I think that's what you're going to be watching. That's what you're going to be seeing. I'm excited for Summer Game Fest, but I'm not excited to see Nick Cage walk on a stage.
That's fair. I mean, he is a Coppola. We should give him respect on that. But for me, like setting expectations, I think Keighley's doing the best job he can without undermining those devs, and also trying to say, listen, we don't have like, I don't know, whatever, but we do have this. And like setting expectations of going like, it's more updates. So you're going to see more Monster Hunter than, you know, we saw the PlayStation show or whatever. It's going to get those Monster Hunter dorks in there for sure. That said, when it comes to like setting expectations for, you know, or predictions, which I feel like we ought to be very careful of. When people are like, I got a prediction show for SGF, do you want to be a part of it? I'm like, dude, here's my prediction. Whatever, you know, games PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo passed on have a chance to be here, and whatever, you know, big third-party publisher doesn't have a showcase of their own, chances are they'll be at this show, and there's going to be a whole lot of AA and indie games. Those are my predictions. Like, for me, PlayStation will be there for sure, but it's more tangential stuff. Like, yeah, Spider-Man release date was shown, but the meat and potatoes of like the gameplay that you saw was at the PlayStation event. The year before that, you had, you know, The Last of Us, you know, TV stills, and then the remake announced there. Though a great announcement, still on a smaller scale. So like, I expect, you know, Xbox to be there, but it's more like, hey, here's a game to get you hyped for, like, here's Gears of War collection. We'll meet you at the showcase to show you more Gears of War, something just to get you enticed to go over to that Xbox show. That's what I think it will be there. And Nintendo would be like, we don't need you, Geoff. You're cute and all, patch on the head. We're going to do our own thing. That's where my expectations, I think, are absolutely leveled for this. His shows are never the one that I'm, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. But like, if we get another Elden Ring trailer, I'll be set. I'll be blessed. What about you, Ains? Where's your expectations for this whole Summer Games Fest? You think he's doing the tango here or more of the polka?
I don't know. I haven't been overly impressed by Summer Game Fest. But this is the first one, at least keep me honest here, but this is the first one with tickets sold to it as an in-person event. So I would tend to think that, you know, you'd want to go a little bigger for that. Obviously being there in person, I hope that it is a little bigger, but he's definitely trying to dull down the expectations, because I think expectations are really big. Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's a different industry now, and kind of what Luke was saying, where Xbox as a publishing arm owns so much now. Sony just had their show. Nintendo obviously does their own thing. You know, there's a whole bunch of other shows outside of the major ones like Xbox UB and Summer Game Fest. There's a whole bunch of smaller ones that have other stuff going on for kind of AA publishers and stuff as well, right? Stop it. So I think it's just a different world nowadays, where like if you take out all those publishers, you take out everything Xbox owns, Nintendo owns, Sony owns, you take out Ubisoft, right? You start to ask the question of, okay, there's still lots left, but it's not as big as what it used to be, right? So
I mean, Brian Cutler writes Lego Horizon Adventures, Spider-Man 2 DLC from PlayStation, from Xbox, Everwild, Fable. Maybe we see Joanna, you know? See a silhouette again. Closer. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, Xbox is in a interesting predicament. It's not like, when I say predicament, it's probably the wrong word, but like, they're in this interesting position where, you know, I view them as a third-party publisher now. Whether their games come day and date or whatever, like, they're a third-party publisher. Most of those games that they own will come to PlayStation in time or at launch. So like, seeing Call of Duty there is awesome. Do not get me wrong, but like, it doesn't change where I'm going to play Call of Duty.
Sure.
I think the reasons why I'm excited for the Xbox showcase is strictly for Gears of War, but I'd like to know for you boys, do we find out, like, for example, the one big, you know, rumor is like we see Doom. Will you see that PlayStation logo at the end, or is that just in a press release? Like, will we find out that Gears
It's a
of War
press release.
Collection is a press? Okay, you think it's a press release?
If it's
You
at
know,
the
you
Xbox showcase, then
Yeah.
it's a
You're
press
asking
release.
if they're going to show the PlayStation logo at the Xbox
And like,
showcase?
they're like, hey, it's coming to other platforms. No, nothing.
Oh, that type of announcement? I
Yeah,
doubt
that type
it.
of thing. Yeah,
I doubt it. That would be my guess. I don't know. We're in uncharted territory here.
Right.
But I don't think so. Because even like, I'm trying to think of a good example. Like last year at Xbox Showcase, it was the first time, which people forget, the first time we saw Star Wars Outlaws.
Mhm.
Right.
We saw it at Xbox before we saw it at Ubisoft.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to remember what they showed at the end of that, right? Was it just like an Xbox logo, or did they kind of show everything as a third party thing? So
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I
But
think it was
I
the
wouldn't
Xbox
think you'd.
logo.
Yeah, I
you're
don't
right.
think you'd want to see the PlayStation logo at the showcase. I think all the information about releases and platforms will be post.
Okay. How irate will the Xbox fans be at that, you think? Or it just depends on the size of the game that comes out.
I think those that are
What type of Xbox fans are you talking about?
yeah,
That's
those that are angry are stuck in the past or simply irrelevant to the future of what gaming is. Bethesda, Activision, Blizzard, King, Xbox Game Studios, Mahjong. Is it Mahjong? I messed it up the other day.
Mojang?
Now I'm psyching myself. Mojang. I psych myself out now.
Jesus.
I used to know, but like
I
all
used
of
to
those
know.
things exist under
How
Xbox,
do you
and they
how do
are
you forget the pronunciation of Mojang?
because one of them's a Chinese.
You thinking of, what is it, Mayong or whatever?
Mahjong?
Yeah,
You thinking of
Mahjong.
Mahjong?
I mixed
Yeah.
it up. Yeah, I mixed it up once, and now I can't not psych myself out with it. It's very frustrating.
The game that I was introduced at like a Friendly's diner because it had it on the little.
It's been like this is like my 800th show in 6 minutes.
That's
Okay,
fair. Okay.
but I
That's a
think
lot of shows.
yeah.
My goodness.
The big thing is I think Xbox is trying to navigate their own way.
Mm.
They're trying to figure out where they stand. Doom should be at the Xbox showcase with Xbox logos and in a press release coming to multi-platform. No problem with that. I'm okay with almost everything Xbox going multi-platform if it's day and date into Game Pass. I don't know why that hurts anyone if it's full price one place, Game Pass other. But it's new, and new is difficult, and Xbox is having to adjust. We've seen heavy adjustments in the last 2 years in their pricing model. But think about Concord, right? Concord's entire pricing structure is now up for debate after Helldiver's success. The idea that it would launch at $40 and $60, be in PlayStation Plus, have a monetization model. Everybody's trying to figure out the new formula to success because exclusivity, isn't it?
Yep.
And there's just not enough of these PS5s and Xbox Series SXs
To justify
on a
anymore.
market to give you ROI. You don't get enough return on investment. For God's sakes, if Insomniac isn't making return on investment of Spider-Man 2, which is just an immaculate, probably the best superhero game ever made.
Yep.
And like
Oof.
you've got to change your formula to survive. So Xbox now has no barriers of legality that I'm aware of, that anyone seems to be aware of publicly, no mergers and acquisitions. So this is their new direction. Tina Amini in full force with the way that this content's being delivered. It's her vision now on talking to communities, the Xbox podcast and whatnot. So I'm excited to see how they approach that multi-platform stuff.
I think you'll see it on social media. I think like you'll see Doom on PlayStation's Twitter. Like that's how we'll.
That's what Xbox does. They did that
Exactly.
in State of Play. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. And you're right. I think they're in uncharted territories. Is this the most important showcase in Xbox history? It seems like that's every year. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Jinx. But like this one, I think is the most. To me, it's like it's intriguing the way that they're gonna go about, how do you handle, Call of Duty being there? How do you handle, whatever third party announcements you have? Because, I think the big selling point, the differentiator is going to be it's Game Pass. That's the benefit of being on this platform. And I think, the leaks and rumors of a Xbox handheld, I mean, Xbox has been saying it for months now without saying it, that they're working on something. So like that excites me too. It comes down to the fact, I think, Luke, you said it just a few minutes ago. It's like exclusives aren't it anymore. And don't get me wrong, I'm excited for Neil's game. I'm excited for Corey's game. All the PlayStation first party studios for sure. But when I take a look at a showcase, I'm thinking about what are the games that I'm going to be buying day one, or at least trying. And I'm excited for the Xbox showcase. I think this one is the one I'm the most excited for. I think this is the first time I'm the most excited for Xbox in a very long time. And I don't think there's any way that they don't deliver just by the sheer amount of games that they have. So
I think,
yeah. I think if we see Astro in the same year as we see Banjo-Kazooie, Ains and I are going to start going to church.
Come on. This year's my year. I think people too, maybe it's just me, maybe my timeline. It seems like people have forgotten how good the Xbox showcases have been the past few years.
Yeah.
They've been spectacular. So I don't know why the expectation for this would be any lower. It's the same format as last year. It's just Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is taking the direct after instead of Starfield. And we're expecting a 90-minute show with probably 25 to 30 games, with new games we haven't seen before, release dates for things like Indiana Jones, Avowed, or at least Windows. New content for games we love, of course, because that's part of what Xbox does. I think it's going to be an absolutely spectacular show. Whether or not you like Xbox or not, or a primary player of Xbox, I think the Xbox show is far and away the most exciting one for this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Not even close. Not even close for anything else.
On the docket, I know of Call of Duty being there, and the potential to have a Gears. And if it's not there, will I be disappointed? Yes, but not devastated, because Game Awards. Doom being there. And then this giant list from Avowed, Clockwork Revolution, South by Midnight.
South by Midnight looks dope.
Every single one of these games I'm pumped for. Every single one.
Gears, Forza, Halo is on the menu, and that's what I love about Xbox. But so is Avowed, so is South by Midnight, so is Clockwork Revolution, so is Fable, so is Perfect Dark, and it just keeps hitting. Indiana Jones is this year, and it's like,
let's go.
That's a lot of great gaming experiences there. And the worst part, I think, and this is a personal part for me, the worst part for me is that I get bogged down in conversations in other places, Nerd Chat, XEP, and stuff. Like, is indie relevant or not? When I'm watching that showcase, I don't care, because
it doesn't matter to me.
You play it. Like the
it's relevant to me.
Yeah, exactly. The big picture discussion where I'm eloquent and logical, like that's one thing. But when I'm watching a showcase, and Joe, you got to experience this with me when we live streamed the Halo Infinite, dude, I'm pumped. I'm there to celebrate my brand, celebrate what I enjoy, celebrate the games I like playing. And when I say my brand, I don't mean Xbox has to win. I mean, I'm there to be with gamers that like what I like. And if you're at an Xbox showcase, you're watching an Xbox showcase, there's some of those pillars you probably enjoy. I've had this behind me, this Gears Xbox, for weeks now. I haven't rotated out my background because I'm trying to manifest it.
Same.
So that Gears, Doom, and COD are on the menu.
Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, I can't wait for Doom. I'm very excited.
Especially
I can't wait for
what
Gears
we heard about
as a huge Gears fan.
Oh,
yeah.
And
Medieval, let's go.
I'm so sorry. We just came off of Hellblade. All intents and purposes, a very good game, a very good experience.
Sure.
Anybody could break down and like argue minutiae and is it for me, is it not? But like that was a great outing, and that was kind of cool, Yeah,
and to that point, I think I said this on Bigcast, but I was fortunate enough to be in the room last year post showcase with Phil. I always forget Phil, Matt, Sarah, and Todd. They did a small thing for media afterwards. And Matt said very clearly, and whether they stick to this, we'll see, that Hellblade 2 was the beginning of the first party game per quarter from Xbox. That will start what they've been aiming at for years now. So if that holds, that should mean, right, that we get whatever one of those kind of smaller titles is over summer, but then we probably get Avowed and Indie later this year as originally promised, and then lead into 2025 with, the bigger other stuff, maybe Gears, maybe Doom, maybe.
I think you do Doom in February or March.
I think
it's probably first half next year.
It's like, as a PlayStation gamer, it's like, it kind of feels like the way that PlayStation has approached PC is the way that Xbox is approaching multi-platform, where it's like, for people that aren't, hooked on the Xbox, I currently don't have one. I'll probably play Hellblade if I don't have a PC by then on my PlayStation. Same with, Indie, same with Avowed. Like, to see those come probably afterwards, depending on, how busy that studio is, to the PlayStation platforms. That's awesome for me as well. It feels like everybody's just winning. And as we argue about which plastic box is best box, we kind of fail to realize that, like, gaming is changing. And those who are stuck behind the console war bullshit, you're gonna be sorely disappointed for what the next coming 5 to 10 years has in store.
Yeah,
you're gonna fucking hate it. It's not going back. Genie's out of the bottle. That said, Luke, before we get into Flash news, when it comes to Indiana Jones, what side are you rooting for? Anyway, Flash news. Wait,
I have one question. For you guys.
Okay.
Which is relevant to before that joke or reality as Luke lives it. I'm
not the bald one.
This is genetic, all right?
Sure it is.
What was I going to say? So we know that Xbox promised. I've been thinking about this. Promised in the acquisition hearings and everything, or kind of made a commitment that there would be like for like between Call of Duty on PlayStation and Xbox, and eventually Switch 2 or whatever that looks like, right? That they're talking about bringing. However, I was kind of thinking of the fact that they could still offer Game Pass perks, which give you in-game content for Call of Duty, because Game Pass by definition is not free. It is a paid service.
Sure.
And so I wonder, do you guys think, I guess the question is, do you guys think we will see additional Game Pass, Call of Duty skins, unlockables, XP bonuses, those types of things through Game Pass, because they can legally do that? Which would be paid on PlayStation.
If they can legally do that, yes. Why wouldn't you?
Because technically Xbox players are paying for it. Game Pass is a paid service.
I don't think so, but even if so, I don't think that moves the needle.
I don't think it moves the needle. I'm just curious, because if, it's just more value, right? Because then if you're playing on Xbox, you're getting even more for your money than playing on PS5 where you're paying extra. It's just a thought.
Yeah. No, I think, if they could find the legalese around it, they definitely would. But yeah, even then, like, I take a look at like Call of Duty. I'm skeptical if it moves the needle enough for Game Pass, because I just don't think the math's there in terms of, like, if I'm just a person that buys 2-3 games a year, am I really saving money by going on to Game Pass? I don't think so. But yeah, I mean, if they could do it, I don't see why not. I'll be very positive about it, so I get a code. Here's the Flash news. Oh, God damn it, Duke. Yes.
It's never hurt me that you get extra XP in COD when we play. It's never phased me.
It's because I'm just super good in the game. All right. Here's the Flash news. Ready for this? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this, boys? PSVR 2's PC adapter available August 7th. Cost about $60 hairs. Quote from PlayStation: while most immersive way to play to experience PlayStation VR 2 remains on PS5, we hope gamers will enjoy the ability to play expanded lineup of VR games on PC using the same headset. Sony said pre-orders will go live on PlayStation Direct, meaning I ain't fucking getting one. Sorry, I didn't bleep that. As well as select retailers. Means I may have a chance. That said, there will be a PSVR 2 app you can download. You'll need a Steam VR app also. Quote, this will allow you to set up the PSVR 2 on your PC, customize your settings, your play area, and start purchasing and playing games using Steam VR. When playing PSVR on PC, HDR, headset feedback, eye tracking, adaptive triggers, and haptic feedback are not available. Half those features I understand. HDR is a weird one, though. And eye tracking. That's dumb. That said, Stingray X writes, howdy, gents. State of Play was a solid 7. Okay, just like Luke's mom. Going in with those expectations, as for the PSVR 2, do you plan on using the PC adapter? Also, what's your most anticipated VR title for the year? Mine would be the Wanderer port/remaster. It was one of the best PSVR 1 games and going to be more solid this time around. Take care and have fun at SGF. Luke, do you give a crap about VR? Just a yay or nay on it, because
I care about it more than Sony seems to.
Fair.
As a diehard Vita owner,
Yeah,
I hate it for all you amazing
I'm
people
getting
that bought a
PTSD.
PSVR.
I'm
Yeah,
getting
like
PTSD, man.
I know that I'm the Xbox guy, Joe, but
Yeah.
like, how many times PlayStation? How many times?
I know.
Like Vita, PSVR 1, PSVR 2, Vita TV. It's just like, come on, guys. Like, I want better for them because apparently it's good tech.
Yeah, it's great tech,
Yes.
man. And there just needs to be stuff for it. Behemoth looks great. Alien, because I'm a huge Alien fan, I'm there for. I think Mustard Max is one coming to PSVR 2 that is inspired by Astro Bot, which looks pretty cool.
I saw that the adapter you were talking about. Doesn't that limit features though?
Exactly. We just read it. You weren't paying attention.
I don't think
Yeah,
you was listening.
You're playing with your little goddamn Godzilla action figures.
Give me the notes. I can't sit here and listen. I can't read something.
Oh, this weekend's gonna be rough. Oof.
It's gonna be so rough, man. There's so much stimuli off the goddamn cards. God bless you.
I'm so worried. I'm gonna like Ains is gonna hate me at the end. He's gonna be like, "You're really hard to be around."
No.
He's gonna be like, my thoughts to your wife. She goes through so much.
I'm gonna do an SG episode just called "Let's Talk," but it's about Luke.
Look,
It's an
here's the
interview
deal,
with
man.
his wife and his mom.
Here's what I'm gonna do when I see Ains. I'm gonna talk to him about Skull and Bones for 30 minutes.
Oh god.
Please don't do that. That does not get you on my good side.
That was the best.
Oh God, it was the
Yeah.
worst.
That was the
Um,
best.
Ains, what about
Anyway.
you, man? Where are you at with little doodad?
I think like most people. So I'm a big PSVR 2 supporter. Bought it day one, love it. I still use it probably once or twice a week, usually
Nice.
for like Beat Saber, Pistol Whip,
Yeah.
those kind of movement games. But it's great tech, and it annoys the hell out of me that again PlayStation's letting it down. In my opinion, we kind of knew that going in. I think many of us who bought it were like, just like, oh God, this already has a writing on the wall, but we bought it anyway. And it's a shame. It's kind of turned out to be true. There's good games for it. There's more games for it than I think people realize.
Yeah.
Which, to give them some credit, they've done a pretty good job of curating at least third-party stuff coming to the platform natively. But this PC adapter is interesting. Like I got excited when I saw it, and then you read the fine print and you're like, oh, it really, really limits it, and it doesn't take advantage of, anything, which makes sense if, you're trying to go to these different codecs and platforms and everything else. It's just, it's very proprietary design from the PS side. So it's cool that they're doing it, but it doesn't get me hugely excited. I think
Can I be
it's,
real?
yeah.
Only reason why I'm buying it's for Alex.
Yeah. And
That's it.
my question is, so I need to talk to Travis because Travis has the Steam headset. And he praises Alex all the time, right? But if you don't know, the Steam headset has sensors that you put up around the room because it's got full body tracking. And so I don't know what the experience of Alex is going to be like via PSVR 2.
That's fair. That's
You know
fair.
what I mean? I need to understand that.
Yeah.
Because I want to play it too.
I did not know that. That's But even then, I'll play the watered down version. I don't care. I
probably will too.
Yeah, everybody's like, I saw God playing this game. So yeah.
Yeah.
It sucks where PlayStation VR, you're right, has fallen, and we kind of saw it coming. It's like anything with the letter V in it, and on PlayStation, when it comes to hardware, fails. It's just, it's a great headset. It's just, it was a different Sony that was making it from the Sony today. Where they had the ability to experiment, to do some weirder stuff. And now in this environment where games are more expensive than ever, you need a bigger return on investment than ever. VR is still just not there. Even Meta, the ones that are doing the best in terms of unit sales wise, are going through a really rough patch. So, it sucks, but that said, Enigma writes in. Here's a crazy one. Enigma writes in, been debating PSVR 2 for a while, thinking of treating myself for an upcoming birthday. Do you think the sale and the adapter make a good time to grab one, or no, due to PlayStation seemingly not supporting them? Thanks for the time. I think right now it's like $100 off, I think, for the days of play. So it's about like $400 to $500 depending on the edition. Man, as much as I love the headset, I can't recommend it anymore.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough because there is genuinely good content on it.
Exactly.
I think the one thing that is also annoying about it, I mean, it's not unexpected, but like there's no cross account stuff. So for instance, Beat Saber, I used to play on the Meta 2, which was my wife's, and I have a bunch of stuff bought on there, right? And obviously when you log into it on PSVR 2, it's like you don't own it. So you have to rebuy everything if you want to play it on PSVR 2. And I wish there was just better kind of ecosystem support, across the VR place. But it's kind of disjointed, and so they didn't even support PSVR 1 titles. You know what I mean? So wild. So I mean, it's like I'm kind of with Joe. It's like I like it, I still use it. It does have more content than I think it gets credit for, but the criticisms of it are very fair. And I wish that PlayStation would be more serious about it.
Yeah, same. We have a little bit of some Naughty Dog updates. Neil Druckmann saying a whole bunch of stuff, this time being quoted correctly. Pretty much saying, listen, we're not going to be the Last of Us studio forever. They do have multiple games in the pipeline, single player games. Great. I would hope so. But here's the interesting thing. Last of Us Season 2 will be 7 episodes, with a potential third will be significantly larger and possibly bigger in scope, and there could be a Season 4 coming. Just a quick yay or nay. What's the over and under of the Last of Us TV show closing the book on The Last of Us before the game series?
Strong.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Strong.
I don't know. I don't care.
The TV show is better than the game, I think, as far as that story.
That's how I was like, audience, let me get in on this. I know these two hate The Last of Us, so I'm like, should I just skip it for this week's?
Be very clear.
Right.
The Last of Us 1 is one of my favorite games of all time. I cherish that game. Cherish it. Last of Us 2 destroyed The Last of Us for me.
It destroyed garbage.
Man, these two have the tone of like, where were you guys last week? Were you in New York outside of a court building? Like, let's summer down there.
My hero.
Last of Us 1 is GOAT tier. In fact, it's so good. I love it so much. We literally have a video on our channel, which is a 14-minute dissection of Last of Us that we have never done for any other game. That's a true fact.
God damn.
I love that game.
And
Neil just kicked me in the balls and ran away.
Speaking of, here's a PC version you won't play then. The PC version of The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered has been sitting fully developed for more than half a year, it's claimed. And it'll stay there until the TV show comes out. So there you go. There's some little Naughty Dog updates.
Sure it has.
Here's something.
Yeah,
sure it is.
Money.
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this, guys? Yakuza. Amazon Prime show set for later this year. Delicious Morsels writes in, hey guys, gotta say, new Amazon Prime series based on Yakuza / Like a Dragon franchise was not on my bingo card when I woke up Tuesday morning, but what a surprise it was. Color me excited for sure. My question is, what do you think the odds are we see some sort of teaser during SGF. Are you guys looking forward to it as well? Would it get you guys to finally play Yakuza if it delivers? Ains, I go to you. Because I think you're pretty big on Like a Dragon, right?
I am. Like a Dragon is amazing. I highly recommend it. I'm actually ashamed that I got tied up with other reviews and stuff, and I haven't put enough time into Infinite Wealth yet. But yeah, Like a Dragon's great. I think that I could see that at SGF. I think those are the types of things Geoff looks for that are game related, but kind of just promote. It's Amazon, so I hope it's good. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna watch it. I'm excited about it.
I bought Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth at the Italian GameStop. Buongiorno, Mamma Mia Pizzeria.
Oh, nice.
Did not like how I greeted them when I said that. I go, Buongiorno, buona vista.
Baba boopy.
And well, you guys are fucking gabagool. Anyway, I bought that strictly because it's Peggy 18 on it. I wanted a game
to buy it.
Okay, why did you buy half of the goddamn Godzilla figures that you bought? You're what, 39 years old? Exactly, fun and colorful.
Can I comment on this Yakuza show?
Go for it. Not in an accent.
Oh, sorry.
Oh no! I said no.
Sorry.
God damn
it. You brought Casco up to your door. What'd you expect? All right.
I know.
Real talk. If it's as good as the Fallout show, it's going to get me into Like a Dragon. I'm into Fallout now that I have time. I'm going to be playing Fallout 4 this summer for sure. That's absolutely something I'm looking forward to because they delivered with the Fallout show. I do not actually have any love for Yakuza, so this would be like an avenue in for sure. I just hope it's not a Halo quality show. I want it to be because Paramount nailed it with Knuckles. They nailed it with Fallout. Last of Us was fantastic. Debatable quality with Twisted Metal, but good, Yeah. I think, we've seen some really good adaptations, and it's no longer, it's a video game, it's got to be bad. No. Like, they can be incredible. Yep. So, what level are we talking about? And I think that's the thing that remains to be seen. And that is a Geoff Keighley thing.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's if this is purely in Japanese, is this going to be subbed and dubbed? Because shows like Shogun and movies like Godzilla -1, I'm willing to sit through something that's dubbed. I'm ready to read, God damn it. So, or sub rather.
So I was gonna say, okay.
So if this is good, it'll definitely get me into the games, as I'm already interested, and I think this is a good jumping point. All right. The month's PlayStation Plus essential games are SpongeBob SquarePants: The Cosmic Shake, PS4, PS5, AEW Fight Forever on PS4, PS5, Streets of Rage 4. I think this month's a good month just for Streets of Rage 4. Can't wait. And for the first time, as part of Sony's annual Days of Play promotion, PSVR 2 games are being offered to the premium members as well. Beginning June 6th, the following titles will be available to claim: Ghostbusters: Rise of the Ghost Lord, Walkabout Mini Golf, Synth Riders, Before Your Eyes, which if you're dead inside like me, you won't feel any emotion, but everybody else is like, I cried during this. I'm like, I felt nothing, but it's a great game. Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners, chapters 1 and 2. And then the following PS2 titles are added to the classics catalog. Golly. About time. Tomb Raider Legend, Star Wars: The Clone Wars, and Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus. Excellent month for premium. About fucking time. I'm cursing a lot. I'm so sorry. Jesus.
It's your show.
It's right here.
I can make one joke and you're over here swearing up a storm.
I know. Jeez Louise. All right, everybody. Usually we do a what you've been playing section. What we've been playing this week. We're running a little long in the tooth, but God, I gotta tell you guys something. I haven't played nothing but the airport games on back of the TV, which I wasted a good hour and a half on Bejeweled. All right, just killing time on that flight.
Addicting.
Oh, so I'm good at Bejeweled. Like, I'll wreck shop at Bejeweled. A 40-year-old mom versus me in Bejeweled, I'm actually gonna probably come out top. Just ask Luke's mom. Anyway, call me on Twitter, writes some interesting details for Elden Ring Shadow of the Erd Tree hands-on preview. 10 plus main bosses and additional side bosses. Map is more densely packed, around 100 new weapons, 8 brand new weapon types. DLC is reported to be around 30 to 40 hours in length without much exploring. The map is roughly equal to Limgrave plus Weeping Peninsula plus a touch of Pennsylvania. I mean, Khaled. Guys, I have just one simple question for you. Can an expansion pack, whatever expansion, be up for Game of the Year?
It should be.
Why no, Luke? It's a game. You're still being
An
able
expansion
to
to a game, and that's a failing in our industry, because I think Cyberpunk had an incredible one, but I think that's a failing in our industry. But real talk, like, create a category for that so that we can spotlight more games. Yeah, you see, I flipped on you there.
I think Blood and Wine would be worthy of, I think Blood and Wine's probably top 3, if not gold standard for, kind of expansions all time. There's been some great ones out there. This sounds like it's going to be, top of the pile. I'm pumped, dude. I have an appointment on Monday to see it and get hands on with it. And I will be reviewing it for SG as well. So
is that your most excited thing that you're going to see?
Probably.
Go hands on. I know we can't talk about it.
I'm kind of torn on it because I refuse to listen to anything about it because of how much I love it. And I go dark on the games I truly love. But I'm doing it, just for kind of content and to get a feel. But I'm super, this is my game of the year, bar none.
Oh yeah.
It will be, I'm sure. And I'm just curious. I don't know about you guys, because obviously we have different opinions on this, but for me, my favorite games of all time are Witcher 3 and Elden Ring. Like, I have a top 5, top 10, right? But when you really get to the very top, it's those two. And I'm wondering, my only question now is, will Shadow of the Erd Tree kind of put it over the top finally, just for me to confidently say it's better than Witcher 3?
Yeah, I think, what is this? Dedcato writes in, best ongoing game. Let's go.
But see, he doesn't win that game either. That's like
it's tough. That's like live service.
Yeah, I think expansion or something, because and that's a different discussion for a different time. But can I say, as somebody who felt like I was done with Elden Ring, like, please. I put 170 hours, loved it, but it's not my game, right? I don't like Souls style anything. Yeah. Seeing this, for some reason, just seeing this was like, Now, I'm not going to experiment with 100 weapons. I'm not going to experiment with a bunch. I'm going to get my build, go with it, and that's what I'm going to play through and then put it down. But like, seeing that looks like Elden Ring 2, you know? So will I probably play that? Yeah, probably.
Well, they said from a Miyazaki interview in one of the Japanese articles, because he got translated down. They said that they have been working on the expansion since before the game Elden Ring launched. Like, as a separate team, has been working on this for nearly 3 years.
God bless him. Just God bless Miyazaki,
dude.
I know.
He's the best.
We don't deserve.
Like, seriously, think about. I could go on a rant forever about this, but if you look at the past decade of what From has delivered, no one's close.
No one's
close.
No one. Live Supremacy writes, hit that like, share button, and sub, please. It would mean a lot. It'd be very nice. Guys, are you holding on to something? Anything at all? What are you holding on to, Ains?
Diablo 4 is amazing.
There you go. Luke, what are you holding on to right now, buddy?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. That was a quick.
Halo mouse.
I know.
I didn't know what you meant. Sorry.
Gaines didn't get the reference.
Yeah, no, I should have.
The drop. Here are the latest steals and deals coming to the PlayStation
my microphone
storefront. He's so old. He's so bad at it. Listen, I'm so jet lagged. I only wrote 2 games here for the drop. Destiny 2, The Final Shape, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game. Our good buddy Miles is working on that game. Disclosure, I love Miles. So I'm going to say I love this game. And when I was in Italy, I saw a guy with a Killer Clown shirt inside of a cathedral, and I thought that was kind of sinful.
Did you walk up to him and say, buongiorno?
I did a buongiorno. Actually, my Italian was getting a little better towards the end. I was
It wasn't, but they just told you that.
No. I saw approving nods. Your mother thought it was great.
Oh
All
my
right.
gosh, my mom.
It's been like 3 of those drinks. Also, gang, this is for you, the audience. Should have said this in the beginning of the show, but it's Summer Game Fest week, which means here's the official Trophy Room live react schedule for this week. First off, Summer Game Fest showcase on June 7th, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be reacting to it. Devolver Direct, where they celebrate Volvi's 15th birthday, June 7th, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be reacting to it. Xbox Showcase on the June 9th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Boom, roasted. I'll be on there reacting live. Ubisoft Forward on June 10th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You bet your darn butt I'm going to be there. And I'm going to try to do like a Where's Waldo for like Kyle and Ains and Luke. It's going to be great. Ains, it'll be easy. The light's going to be reflecting off his forehead.
My tickets at Summer Game Fest are like right there. So,
oh, yeah, we're going to see him. He's going to see him. He might storm the stage, Geoff. He might storm the stage.
Dude, I bet you there are like bodyguards around this time. He's like, guys, come on.
I just want to tell him about Bill Clinton's rabbi. All right. Here's our last segment of the show, but our favorite segment of the show. It's time for the Sony Pony Express.
Yeehaw!
That's right. That's right. We didn't let Ains in on what we do here.
Nope.
I watched the show.
Yeah, I don't. Not lately.
Patreon.com/PS Trophy Room Ains. Get to it. Drellish writes in, greetings, gents. I believe we need to set our expectations to only look at what is coming within the next 12 months. So not expecting Ghost of Tsushima 2 or Wolverine, but maybe Death Stranding 2? Here's what I expect. More live service games. I don't think PlayStation will deviate from their live service strategy, as sad as it is. I expect a course correction in about 26 or 27, as some of these developers might need to discontinue unsuccessful live service games. I expect to see Helldivers 2 expansion and perhaps new Spider-Man DLC. See, some good indies. And last but not leastly, all new PlayStation IPs that have same day date for console and PC mid-2025 moving forward. Bonus, PlayStation will announce its first live service mobile game set to release in quarter 4 in 2025 and will be foreshadowing things to come. What is your expectation? I'm assuming they're saying for SGF. Will we see non-AAA IP from Sony? Ooh, do you think like Sony's gonna go back to like let's get weird with some like AA, first party game? No,
they're not spending any money that's not proven right now.
That's fair. I don't think anybody is.
That's what I'm saying. Like that sucks because I liked Weird Sony. They were fun. I bought a lot of those games.
Hey, what about you, Ains? What do you think?
No, I think what Luke said. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, we've seen it, and I don't know how well their shift is going that they've made. So we're not seeing much out of them right now. I'm curious to see, because I don't know, we could talk about this for a while, but we know that Spider-Man 2, as you said, hugely successful both critically and sales wise, but still they're moving away from that model. It feels at least like Wolverine was supposed to follow that model. So where does that leave it and the future of those types of games? I don't know. It's a weird place to be in right now.
Yeah, I know. Like they created this weird tiering system where it's like Insomniac, Santa Monica, Naughty Dog. They're going to be our first party games, or like single player games. Bend, God, what's the other one? Housemark. They're going to be our experimental division, and then we got like the partnerships, right? Like your live service and like your remakes with like Bluepoint and co. So yeah, no, I think they're actually more structured to be more versatile. I just don't think it's in the way that we're going to see like AA games. Sony is now the premier place for those single player. Those
not unless they go the route of they start to come to terms with developing a 2.5-3 year development timeline for a AA game in-house that they put on all platforms.
Yeah.
Where you start to see more PlayStation Studio games on Xbox or Switch for that matter.
I think right now PlayStation is definitely interested in tapping the well for PC, because I don't
Yes.
think they see PC as as interrupting the PlayStation ecosystem as it would be if they ported their games over to
Agreed.
Xbox.
But they will.
Yeah.
It's a matter of time.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. There's some PlayStation fans that will hate me and you for saying that, but
Yeah, they won't like that, but it's just the truth.
I hate you right now.
that's fair.
That's fair. Yeah, I get it.
You bitch.
I understand.
The good sir, last but not leastly, last question of the night. Hey, crew, got a question for you. I was listening to the podcast, and the hosts mentioned an announcement that would get them so excited they would turn into a GIF/meme, similar to the old IGN cheering one. So my question is, what game announcement is the one that would get you to all hot and bothered? One that would be clipped out and used for years to come because of how excited you got. For me personally, and stop me if you've heard this one before for me, but it would be Dark Cloud 3. Good sir, I think you're onto something. What's the announcement, Ains, that will get you to emote, let alone a GIF?
You guys know what it is. You guys know what it is. I've said it many times. It's Banjo.
Sticking
So-
to part 2. Oh, okay.
Yep. Sticking part 2. The sequel.
Live from the Dust Bowl. Ainsley voted.
It's ball in a cup.
Exactly. What? Luke Lohr, what about you, sir? What is the game that's going to make you shout?
It's definitely a new Batman or Superman game that's like a high quality variant. Like, is it Arkham? Is it Man of Steel? Something? Oh yeah, okay, Bloodborne. Like, what do you do? Somebody clip it. But I can't make an accent. Okay.
All right.
Like it'll be a real Arkham game, or it'll be a Superman game, like one that from a studio with pedigree. Like, I'm really excited to see if Monolith delivers with Wonder Woman. But I have zero confidence in WB and DC right now, right? Like, come on, James Gunn, please. There was a fold in that Superman suit, and I had an outrage attack. No, I'm just kidding. Like, I really just want the things that I love to be celebrated by other people. So, like, think about remember when the MCU first started, and it was like people could be nerds when people were celebrating Star Wars. I want people to celebrate my DC characters again. So if there's a game that can do that in a big way, I'm there for that.
Okay. Yeah, no, mine's is so simple. I usually say like, oh, it's a cop-out, but it's legitimately how I feel. The moment I see a Bloodborne anything, you guys need to check up on me. You need to make sure I'm okay, because I'm going to flip. I'm going to flip That's right. I finally able to bleep it out. I would lose it. And I want people to, like, if I miss it for whatever occasion, please let me know. Please link to the trailer. Whatever you need to do to get me notified. That's the only leak or rumor that I truly care about is Bloodborne. I just need to make sure it's okay, that it's all right, you know?
Did you see that Mo's finally playing it?
God bless. I love it so much. I love that for him, man. God, it's such a special game. And all I needed is just 60 FPS. And I flip for that too. Like, I'm such an easy lay at this point.
What if I said this to them the other day? I said, what if we know the PS5 Pro is real?
Yeah.
What if they have proprietary software in there, kind of like boost mode, right? Which will kind of up-res and increase frame rate for the games, including Bloodborne, where you get a 4K 60.
That is the reason why I buy a Pro. Like, day one, Pro, Bloodborne's the first game I load up on it. It's a done deal. Yeah, that's how serious I am about that game. So I'm excited. I'm excited for it. It's gonna happen. You just gotta say it with confidence and gusto. All right, boys, listen, that's it for the trophy room. That's all we got. Thank you all so much for sending in your questions, for being part of the chat, for even super chatting us. Thank you for all the patrons out there that support the show the ways you do. Again, we're going to be live reacting to all the things. I'll have the schedule pinned on my Twitter at Mr. Badbit. But before I give you my spiel, I want to have our guests share theirs. I'll start with the insipid ghost. Luke, where can people find you, my friend? And I say that loosely.
if you guys enjoyed having me on here and you enjoy us, please look to Cast Co-op, where the three of us kind of do our show sometimes. But really, I'd love for you guys to look up the Xbox Expansion Pass. Really trying out new stuff, going live, doing reviews. I posted a hardware review today for the first time ever. Just trying to learn and be better in a content creation space. So joining me on that journey would be lovely. So the Xbox Expansion Pass on your various platforms.
There you go. And you're also bad at this.
I am. I'm terrible
promoting
at this.
yourself.
Yeah, I don't like promoting myself. I
Give her your best.
I ask you to check out Season Gaming, seasongaming.com. You can find everything there, including all the articles from our crew, reviews, news, opinion pieces, and links to our podcast. We're live every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, where we talk about, kind of everything in gaming from a critical perspective and a seasoned perspective. So other than that, Luke and I will both be in LA this weekend with a whole bunch of others, a whole lot of appointments and coverage planned. So stay tuned for that. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. And I say this, and I mean it for real. I love what you do over at Season Gaming. I love the Bitcast. I watch it almost every week. When it comes to Luke as well, I'm going to be honest. This is where I'm going to be nice. All right. This man's genuinely one of my best friends. And while I was out in Italy, I was missing him. I mean that. I was missing, gaming with my boys. And missing his mother's perfume smell. So it was just, it's just been a lot. I miss her.
You don't smell that smell nowadays very often. You know what I mean? It's rare.
It's very, there's a musk to it. It's very you can find me over at Mr. Badbit. You can find this show wherever you find your podcast service of choice, or you can watch it live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here, right now, each and every Wednesday over at youtube.com/PS Trophy Room. Please, if you like what you heard, rate us 5 stars over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast service of choice, because it really does help us out. It shows us that you care. It helps grow the show as well. And if you would like to be also generous, for just a coffee a month, you can help support the show and get hundreds of bonus hours of content over at patreon.com/PS Trophy Room. With all that said, and with all that out of the way, everybody, keep your wits about you, keep hunting, and keep playing PlayStation. See you guys.